There we go. Okay. Is that your phone?
Yes. I'm sorry. Should I mute it?
Yeah, let's mute
Mute
it.
it.
Okay, we're on.
Okay.
With my great friend, Mark Gamble.
Hello, everyone.
We grew up together. We've done some videos together.
Yes.
We did a walkabout one
Yes.
time.
Yes. Walk and talk.
Walk
I
and
call it.
talk. He has a wonderful channel called It's a Bountiful Life.
Yeah.
It's kind of a play on words.
Yeah. Yes. I live in Bountiful,
You live in Bountiful.
and I think life is beautiful and bountiful.
And Bountiful, I think, got its name from the early pioneers going, wow, this is where trees grow, this is where fruit grows.
Oh, wow.
And it's bountiful.
They have a lot of orchards, at least in the back in the day.
They used to have a lot of orchards there. That's at least what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And you love it there, right?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't have considered it as a place to live until, but my sister happened to live there already, and we're just a couple houses down the street from her, and
Perfect.
we found a good house, a good deal in a house, and
Boom, you're there.
yeah.
So we grew up in the same ward. We're a year or two different. I'm a little bit older, maybe three.
Three.
So, but you've had some cool life experience. But we got chatting on the. I can't remember if it was online or on the phone. I think it was just texting.
What are we talking about? Our first connection, or
no? Like what we're going to talk about today?
Oh yeah. Well, I think I had an idea, and then I just ran it by you,
Yeah.
texted it by you. You said, "Yes, let's do it."
Let's do it. So we with all the things going nationally politically with President Trump, the Democratic candidate who hasn't received one vote but was somehow placed in the position of running for president of the United States. We don't know how that's happening, but we thought of it. The conversation was a dream team that would surround Trump in his cabinet, in his other places that could help this country and positions. And Mark's done some pretty good research on this.
All right, not a lot. But.
Yeah, you have. And I have a few ideas, so we're going to do that. Before I get into that, or before we start talking about that,
Okay.
I wanted to mention something that you're not even involved in.
Okay.
But there's a YouTube channel, I think it's called Gospel Lessons, really good. But there was this confrontation with Michael B. Rush, and I can't remember the guy's name that does Gospel Lessons, but you guys will know it in YouTube land. And it's just unfortunate that we have these disagreements that get mean. I have, like with Ezra's Eagle, I have disagreed with that being the presidents of the United States, the short feathers.
Right.
Are you familiar?
A little bit. I had a friend who brought that to my attention a while back.
Yeah. So I personally, it's not that I disagree with it. I just don't see that there's another, like a triangulation of other sources that would validate it. So it's not that I say it's not legit, but
It's interesting, but yeah, I'm not gonna make a career out of it. Yeah.
But this gospel lesson guy really took an attack approach to Michael B. Rush on this, because he's really the originator as far as the church, the LDS church is concerned, in developing a theory on this.
I've heard his name a lot, but I don't know that much.
Check out the video on Gospel Lessons, and I'll put a link to it in the comment section, and see what you think. I just the problem I see with the Gospel Lesson guy is he says the second coming is a long ways away, and there's a lot of things that have to take place.
Yeah.
And I'm not of that nature at all. I'm not maybe an Ezra Eagle guy, but I think it's imminent.
Right.
I do. I think there's things are lining up, and I don't think there's that many things that need to take place.
Right.
I've got it boiled down to basically the Ezekiel wars, Ezekiel 37, 38 wars that are described in Ezekiel that really encompass all of Israel.
Right.
And all nations being against Israel. And we're not there yet,
Right.
but the setup is there.
Right.
The setup is there. And so we have that. And then the temple, I think, needs to be built in in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. And other than that,
Yeah.
I think most things have been fulfilled.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're in some interesting times, because here's the last thing I'm going to say. And then
But either way, he's going to come like a thief in the night. So no one knows the time or day, but we can see the signs in
and we know the season.
Yeah, the season.
And what the other scriptures tell us is that it's like a woman giving birth.
Yes.
They know,
Labor pains.
Labor pains, the birth pains. You know.
Even in the heavens, isn't there? There's some stars that they equate that to that.
That's right. Revelation 12. But the woman might not know the exact hour and day that she's going to give birth, but she definitely knows the season.
Yes.
Right? And we've, having been married and having been with women that have given birth.
Oh man,
and some of our daughters, it's like they know when it's so we're watchers. We're supposed to be looking for those things. Now, the theory that I've had, and I'll end with this, and then we'll get into our dream teams.
Okay.
I've heard from a couple of different sources. People are like, you know what? I'm going to vote for the worst person possible, so that it brings on all the chaos and stuff faster, so Jesus will come.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I don't either. And here's I think it's in Doctrine and Covenants 1, and I might find it a little later, but and we have it in other sources too. But all wickedness and evil and secret combinations will be shouted from the rooftops.
Yeah.
And we're going to know. And the only way that's going to happen is to have, in my opinion, it's totally my opinion, is to have a Trump type guy, if not Trump himself, in that position to expose it. Because if you vote for the worst person, those things are still going to be hidden.
Oh yeah.
By the cabal, the government, the people they surround themselves, they're going to keep it locked in. And so I say, no, we don't do that. We don't have that approach. We vote for those that are the best people possible.
Yeah.
But
not necessarily a choir boy and a perfect person.
No, just like, Trump has been compared to King Cyrus, which is really a good comparison. King of Persia, and allowed the captive Jews that first were captured by the Babylonians, and then the Persians captured the Babylonians,
right.
and so King Cyrus, of all places, Persia, which is modern day Iran now, he said, you know what, you guys really need to go back to your land. Mm-hmm. I will help finance it and facilitate you rebuilding your temple. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't part of the covenant people. Right. He wasn't.
Not a believer.
King Cyrus wasn't a believer, and he probably wasn't that nice of a guy. I don't know, but
probably had a sense of humor, though.
Probably had a sense of humor. and so in fact, I have a temple coin that I got from the Temple Institute that has a side view of King Cyrus and a side view of Trump.
Oh wow!
And it's because that's how they look at Trump in Israel. A lot of people do as a King Cyrus type guy. So not the perfect person, not this or that, but facilitated something wonderful.
Yeah, good things can come from.
Good things can come from it, and so I think this is I was talking to my son this morning, but Trump, he only has 4 years if he gets elected.
Yeah.
Kennedy, which we'll talk about him.
Yes.
This is the coolest. In fact, I just got goosebumps. I think this Kennedy, RFK Jr.
I love it.
I love it. And he has said, I only have maybe 5, 6, I can't remember the exact years, but a short period of time to make a difference in this world.
Right.
Whether it's health, whether it's age, whether it's energy, he feels like he has a short time. So you have these guys that, Trump's not a youngster. You have Kennedy now that I think is going to be a major force.
Yes.
I really feel like Trump's going to let him loose. Yeah. And we'll talk about where we think he would fit.
Oh, man.
So I say,
times.
Don't go down the road of saying, hey, let's just vote for the the worst person possible, so that'll bring Jesus faster. That's not. I don't think that's how this works.
Yeah.
We always vote for the person that we feel represents our views, our values, and our freedom
Right.
and our liberty.
Yeah.
Which are two different things.
Yeah.
But and I feel very strong that Trump is that candidate now, and especially now that he has a Kennedy backing him, and in RFK Jr.
And a former Democrat. I love that.
Former Democrat, a real classic.
Well, a Kennedy Democrat, which
a-
don't exist anymore. I mean,
classic liberal that
Yeah.
they don't exist anymore, and he, and really Trump is similar.
yeah. He's
I
in the
think.
same. He's in the
He's
same
the same.
boat. He's in the same boat.
So.
Not a traditional Republican.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And both of them really upset the apple cart on both sides. The classic Republican, Mitch McConnell.
Oh my heavens. No.
Lindsey Graham.
War.
They just want, they're warmongers, and they can't stand Trump, and of course they already wouldn't like Kennedy. So these two guys are really, even poor RFK, I shouldn't say poor RFK, but his family is really upset with him.
Oh.
Supporting Trump. So he's putting it all on the line.
Oh yeah.
All on the line.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into this now.
Can I just say one thing about my T-shirt?
Oh yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about the.
It's the U.S. Open coming up here.
Oh, that too. I love tennis. And this is a Roger Federer. I don't know if you can see my T-shirt.
Oh, there it is, right there.
It's got a signature and it says "Peace for the world, everyone." But
Yeah.
there's actually the T-shirt I was going to wear was in the laundry and dirty and wrinkled. I couldn't wear it, but it was the cover of Beatles.
The Beatles.
The Beatles Sgt. Pepper cover, which had 58 people pictured in this painting, and then it had all their names below it. But the Beatles went through kind of what me and Scott are about to do is kind of go through our wish list. They put all the influence throughout history, all the most influential people they appreciate.
I've looked at that cover album so many times, and I've never noticed that.
Yeah, there's comedians, artists, musicians, people. I think Carl Jung is on there. Was he? What do you call him? The great philosophers of the world are on there. So anyways, but so in honor of that T-shirt was dirty, so I put Federer on because Federer is not a U.S. citizen. But if we had the czar of physical health and sports for young women and girls and everything, I'd put him on it.
Well, I don't think so. This is a good point. And as we get into this, like Jordan Peterson would be somebody. He's Canadian.
Yeah.
But I say that we have no boundaries here.
Yeah.
We're just talking.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peterson is one guy that I think we need.
Yeah, and maybe we could create a UN thing like that.
Yeah.
Dream team, UN dream team.
A UN dream team that would be willing to give advice to our president
whole world.
that would help the whole world. Okay, so we have. Let's talk about positions.
Okay.
Open and then some possibilities for those. Those positions. Should we do it that way?
Okay. I don't know if there's any particular order we want to go on. I've got the first one is Secretary of State.
Secretary of State's a big one. So we have Anthony Blinken right now.
Oh boy.
his disastrous work he's been doing in the Middle East and with Ukraine and it's just anyway. Who do you have for?
I'm not a big fan of Mitt Romney, but maybe that's a position I put Mitt in. I don't know.
Oh my goodness! Serious?
I'm not a huge fan. I mean, as a Republican, but same thing in the Olympics and all that. He's a can-do, get-her-done kind of guy. That's just a thought.
It's out there.
I'm not a huge fan.
Okay.
But anymore. I used to be a huge fan, and when he ran for president, I cried. I think he didn't get elected.
The only thing I worry about him, there's actually a lot of things, but I think he has some nefarious connections with Ukraine through his son.
Possibly.
And I think there would be a lot of, I think he would line up more with the, like we were talking about, the Lindsey Grahams and all that, and still continue.
Right. Is there another name that you can think for that position? Because I'm not 100% sure what they do.
Well, what they do, I'm the same way. I don't really know, but just it seems like there are international. It's who you would send to facilitate trade agreements.
Okay.
Military, just all kinds of, and also like being a go-between two other countries.
Okay.
Like quite often, peace deals and treaties and things are worked out with. So you get the two entities that hate each other, but then you have two or three other entities that might have an interest, and they facilitate. Right. Like, hey, let's come together and talk. That would be a Secretary of State. At least that's what I think.
Anybody you can think that would fit that role?
So,
Dennis Prager? No. No.
You know, he's good.
Hey, he's good.
He's good. He's good. I think in the case now, this is just my opinion. I think a former military guy that does not want war would be very good.
Okay. Not one comes to mind.
There's one that comes to mind, and his last name's McGregor.
Okay. I don't know him.
He's appeared on Tucker Carlson many times, and he is so anti-war and sending our young men and women to these foreign wars. And I think he'd be better than Secretary of Defense.
Okay.
Because you have the Secretary of Defense, which is usually military.
Okay.
And that kind of thing.
Secretary of State's more diplomatic.
More diplomatic.
Probably.
But I think McGregor but he is getting older. He's probably in his later 70s, so that might be an issue. So, do you have any other names?
Okay.
Secretary of State.
No, nothing.
Okay.
But I mean, we got a lot of positions to cover. So
Tulsi Gabbard would be one that I could see could fill that role as well. I think because she does have a military background.
Right.
She's been a bridge builder.
Right.
She Democrat.
Right.
Still is a Democrat.
Right.
Just put her support for
behind Trump. Yes.
Behind Trump. And she has an international flair about her.
Oh wow.
So I think and she's a woman, which would really throw a monkey wrench in some of these negotiations. But I think Trump, didn't he have a Secretary of State that was a woman? I think he did. But anyway,
I like it.
So there's a couple of names. Okay. What else?
It's not necessarily in any particular order, just the order Secretary of Treasury.
Secretary of Treasury. We've got. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have I can't remember her name right now.
Mullen. Like a man.
Yeah.
Yellen.
Yeah. So, do you have a name for that one, Secretary of Treasury?
Like I said, I thought about filling this out and comparing lists, but I just kind of wanted to debate it on the fly with you. But in Secretary of Treasury,
in the comment section, put who you think would be good.
Yeah, Secretary. How about like not Neil? Who's the older guy on Fox News? The old that Greg Gagfield's always joking about him being in his hot tub.
Oh, yeah. I think he passed away. Lou Dobbs?
Oh, no, not him. Oh, he used to joke about him, but now there's the other guy. There's still
another guy.
The guy, the financial guy. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Secretary of Defense. This is similar to Secretary of State, but...
Yeah.
Let's see, Secretary of Defense.
So I would put McGregor as one possibility in addition to being Secretary of State, but Secretary of Defense, I think you do have to have a former military
guy.
And McGregor, in my opinion, he's not a general. I can't remember what his rank is, but he is spot on.
Okay. AG, Attorney General.
Well,
I'm very disappointed in our current AG. I can't forget his name.
I would love to see Kennedy, RFK Jr. in there. He's an attorney. He's taken on the big boys. He's identified the things that I'm passionate about.
All right.
He'd take on big pharma.
Right.
He would take on these giant food corporations that are killing us and our children.
Right.
And he would keep us out of war.
Yeah.
And so all those, and here's another interesting thing. Attorney General, they're basically untouchable.
Right.
They're actually more powerful than a president of the United States.
Wow.
Because the president can get impeached, as we know,
Right.
get harassed, but Attorney General, they're basically
Protected from that?
in a bubble. Yeah. And so I think he could do more good in that position if Trump just said, you go.
Right.
You have you just go. I don't think, and here's another thing, we don't want to see a tit for tat.
Right.
It never works.
Right.
Never works. It's the ultimate revenge, and
Right.
we all like that. We all like to see the good guys, get justice and stuff. But to go after, the Clintons, or to go after this and go after that, I don't see the good. Or I shouldn't say the good. It'd be awesome, but I don't see it moving the country forward.
Yeah.
But Kennedy wouldn't get caught up in that.
Right.
He would stick to the plan,
Yeah.
and he would crush. Now he wouldn't. He's already said what he would do, and it's all it is to take the incentive away.
Right.
And with big pharma and everything, it's because they're all subsidized.
Yeah.
Take the subsidies away, take this away,
Yeah.
take that away.
Yeah.
Educate people, let them know what's going on, and then let the thing naturally dissolve.
Right.
So that's what I think.
Yeah.
Do you have somebody that you?
We're talking Attorney General. Which one are we talking about? Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Oh boy, like I say, I'm kind of struggling for some of these names. I almost feel like if we talk about a name and find a position for it,
Okay, let's do that.
A little more interesting.
Let's do that.
I don't know.
Let's switch it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
First of all, have you ever watched Outdoor Boys on YouTube?
I haven't, but let's hear it.
Okay.
Outdoor Boys on YouTube.
Yeah, an LDS guy, and Luke Nichols is his name, but he is like the dad of the decade, and I would make up a position for him, restoring.
What does he do? Live out in the wilderness?
He lives out in the wilderness, camping, and he's got three boys, something like that, and he'll go out in Alaska. He's living in Alaska now, and they've got a homestead down there. He fix anything. He's like a MacGyver. He knows everything.
So how about Secretary of the Interior?
Yes,
that would be our guy.
Yeah. Okay.
He knows the land. He knows the nature. He knows how to respect it, yet utilize it.
Oh my heavens!
That's who we want.
I had him down for something like restoring masculinity in boys.
Wow. He could
make him a czar of that.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Ben Shapiro.
Okay, Ben Shapiro's an interesting guy.
He's the most articulate conservative that I know of, frankly.
Yeah, he. So he and Candace Owens had this big
blow
up, and there's this interesting thing that's going on, and it's all because of Israel. Of course, Ben's Jewish, and I don't know how religious he is, but he wears a yarmulke.
Oh yeah, I think
he's very much pro-Israel, and that's where this division.
Orthodox Jew, I think, or maybe not Orthodox.
Maybe not Orthodox, but very tied to the faith and his culture.
Yeah.
So the problem is you have guys like Mark Dice, Tucker Carlson to some degree, and they've kind of lined up against, not really against, but Candace Owens is. She's anti-Israel, and some of her comments are crazy.
Yeah,
I'm so disappointed. We were all kind of united, but this the
other than that, I like her.
Same. But here's what's happened, and I've mentioned this before. I can guarantee you, in fact, I know this is the case. These individuals were raised in churches that it's called replacement theology, and the replacement theology is that the Jews had their time, they blew it, and now
crucified our Savior.
They crucified our Savior, and they went against everything, the covenant, and they apostatized. And so the Christian now is
the new Jew.
is the new Jew, and the covenant and everything else comes through them, and the Jews had their time and they blew it. Scripturally, in my opinion, that is not sound.
Yeah.
They're still the chosen people, and they will come back. So, but if you're raised in a faith that's like that, and many members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are in that same boat.
Yeah.
They feel like we're the why care about the Middle East? Why care about Israel? Well, that's where Christ is going to return, number one, and the covenant is still with the Jews, and that's a whole different topic. But Ben Shapiro is a polarizing figure, for sure.
Uh-huh.
So do we have what he needs to be involved?
Yeah, I almost Secretary of the UN or something like that.
That UN would be good. I don't know what. What's his name? He's the son-in-law of Donald Trump. He was.
Oh, the Jewish boy.
Yeah, and he helped out in the Abraham Accord.
Yeah.
That would be a good place for Ben.
Yeah.
Is in that position of helping
advisor
for
solving the problem between Israel and the
because
Muslims
you need a pro-Israeli that the Israeli government will go. We can work with that guy.
Yeah.
So that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Elon Musk.
So Elon has already said that he would do whatever Trump said, something like that in humor. Trump has said in an interview with Sean Ryan, who I highly recommend that interview. It's not the greatest interview because Trump, he's probably the hardest guy to interview.
Yeah,
he won't answer questions, not because he just wants to say whatever he wants to say.
Yeah, right. Not necessarily listening to the questions.
Yeah.
He's got his,
but Sean did a pretty good job. But Elon was brought up, and Trump says, he's probably just too busy. But I really like him. I really like him. And he likes me. The Trump-esque stuff. So I think Elon. I don't know.
He likes me better than anybody.
He likes me better than anybody out there. For some reason, I've always since Elon has done his thing, and in fact, this might be a good time to read this real quick.
Okay.
But what Ben Carson was, the housing and
urban development.
Uh-huh. I think Elon has a vision that would just. He could visualize
miniature homes and
something that would be family friendly.
Yeah.
A mom and a dad and children with a yard that could be affordable, that could work, and even bigger and city dwelling. He could make things work to where people could have a tiny garden and this and that, and incentivize people.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the few people that would have a vision to revolutionize how we live and where we live.
There's another place I think we could use him too, but maybe we could do this multitask. But imagine him being the czar of free and fair elections.
Oh my goodness.
Using
I like
Twitter to vote.
I actually like that better.
Uh-huh.
I actually like that better because without a free election, which after last national election and even local elections, particularly here in Utah, that's another topic, but
that's a made-up position, by the way.
But so what?
Yeah.
Executive order, czar, honest and fair elections, and he would have a way to simply make it valid.
Voting online, he could confirm my identity
exactly,
and everybody vote within a 30-minute period, practically. Anyways.
So on that topic, I have this. This is a letter that was written by Zuckerberg.
I love this.
Just like yesterday, and posted on the Sean Ryan show. But this is very interesting. So Zuckerberg wrote this and posted it on Meta, which is
used to be Facebook.
Used to be Facebook, yeah. In 2020, okay, so I'm quoting now. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions. That's huge, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure.
Oh boy.
I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standard due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. This is huge because everything we've been saying about the jab, about COVID, all those things, it's now coming to light that a lot of the real information that was being put out there by professionals was blocked. You were censored, discriminated against, people lost their jobs, and we're talking professionals that knew the studies, knew the documentation. So for this to come out now is huge. And here's, Mark and I were talking about this earlier, and in talking about Elon Musk. He has said, and it's kind of out there, that he was going to buy YouTube. Right?
I hope he does.
And so, if that's the case, he could have also made a little phone call to Mark Zuckerberg and said, "Mark, buddy,
I don't doubt that.
Guess what? You either come clean, or I'm going to take over this whole thing. Not only YouTube, but I'm going to get Facebook or Meta, whatever it is, and I'm going to expose this. This is just my theory, right? Because, in my opinion, Elon Musk has the most influence against the deep state and the globalists, globalist agenda. Yeah. I really do, because he has the means to take and not worry about the repercussions.
Exactly.
He can take people down. Not that he would do it in a nefarious way, but by their fruits you shall know them. And I think that's how we should judge Elon now. A lot of people were suspect of him, but I think he sees he's a three-dimensional chess player.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of a guy.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be able to get dressed in the morning kind of thing. But he has a vision, and if he was able to influence, especially social media, and especially the ability for us to have an honest and fair election, because without that, we're no longer a nation.
Including the Second Amendment.
The
defender of the freedom of speech and the elimination of censorship. We're adults.
Yes.
We can think for ourselves.
We should be able
to. We can decide if something's offensive. Should be able to hear something that's offensive and not be offended.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my heavens.
You know what? I like your pick better than mine. I like him as the czar of fair and equitable, or not equitable, fair and honest elections.
Yeah.
Fair and honest elections. Okay, good.
Okay, Jordan Peterson.
See, so
he's a Canadian.
He's Canadian, but...
Or do we put him on the UN Council for something?
Well, so being a Canadian, I don't know what the rules or what the regulations are, but I would think you could still utilize him as some person. So. And
restoring...
To not utilize him in some capacity would be a shame.
He is one of the most articulate. Him and Ben, Ben Stiller, but no, Ben Shapiro. They're so articulate.
Yeah, and I think utilizing him, even if it's, I want you to come and advise my advisors.
Yes.
He could be He could be, like they used to say.
Czar of emotional intelligence or something like that.
They used to say that Mary Magdalene was the apostle of the apostles, apostle to the apostles. He could be the advisor to the advisors, be the advisor to the advisor, because he would give he could teach them really how to think and how to perform their tasks.
Right.
And do it on an assignment basis. So he's Canadian, big deal.
Yeah.
I went to Canada on my mission, so I'm all for it. Yeah.
Jonathan Cahn, is he an American?
Jonathan Cahn is from New Jersey. He's total American. And Jonathan Cahn.
How would you utilize him? He's got to be used.
He would have. I know that Trump has spiritual advisors. I would get rid of some of them because I think some of them have. There's a woman in particular, I can't remember her name. I think she has an agenda a little bit. Jonathan Cahn would not have an agenda. And if he was a spiritual advisor and a prophet,
right,
in the sense of knowing his scriptures and knowing and understanding prophetic warnings, I think that would be a tremendous...
spiritual advisor or somebody to the president or the UN or something like that.
Love that. Tucker Carlson. So we're not going to get into whether they would do it or not.
All right. Oh, yeah. Most of them probably would not.
Most of them probably would not. So, do you have a thought for him?
Well,
he has to be utilized.
Who's the lady that gets the press? That's too low for him, but he would be a great. What do they call that?
The press secretary.
Press secretary.
I was thinking of either.
That's
I think
underutilized.
So Stephen Miller did it before. He's the bald-headed guy under Trump. He did it just sparingly.
Stephen Miller.
I know him.
I saw him. I'm
very outspoken and he's really funny. He'd be good to get in there. But I was thinking of Vivek.
Oh.
It would be a good press secretary.
Oh yeah,
Vivek.
Whether he would do it or not is another issue.
Whether he do it or not, because I think that's a step below, and you probably have him for something else. Yeah. But back to Tucker. Tucker might be really good at the one we had right at the beginning. The
honesty in politics or something like that.
Well, he would really be good, I think, of Secretary of State.
Ooh.
He's traveled.
Oh, that's stepping backwards.
Stepping backwards.
But, oh man, that's
because he sees things so clearly.
Yes.
And he has such a calming presence.
Oh wow.
And I think he's probably one of the most honest people. Whenever I hear him talk, I go, I wish I was that honest. Because he puts it all out there, of his problem, his
heart's in the right place.
His heart is in the right place,
completely.
And he's used to travel. He's used to
well spoken,
used to being, and I think he could, Secretary of State would be good for him, but also he could be one of the senior advisors.
Okay.
To the president.
Here's one that may go back. Now that here's a good position for Secretary of Treasury, Warren Buffett. No,
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think that guy's a creep.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, I wouldn't do.
I'll get the details later, but we don't need to. Don't do that.
I wouldn't do Warren Buffett. He's too much in the. He obviously knows money. But
Thomas Sowell
would be great if is he still
what would you
alive and
I'm not sure.
He's a genius,
and he's a disciple of the great economist. I can't remember his name. Escaped me, but
he would be fantastic, and in a lot of different places.
Okay.
We have some good names.
Okay. Do you know Mark Hyman?
I don't.
Okay. He's a food is your medicine doctor on the internet, and he understands the health crisis we're in. That guy would put him on all over that. But if you get a chance to look at his stuff on the YouTube, it's fantastic.
What's his name again?
Mark Hyman.
Mark Hyman. So who I had
I think he's in
so
Boston.
this would be for health and
something
what's it called? Health and
something services.
Services.
Yeah.
So the person I had, kind of a radical out there, but her name is Dr. Stella.
I don't know her.
She's amazing. She's from Africa but lives in the States. I'm pretty sure she's a U.S. citizen now.
Let me get my glasses.
And same kind of thing. She's the biggest prescriber of ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine for the COVID, and went against everybody. And she said the reason why Africa didn't really take the COVID medication much, the jab, was because they already had gobs of ivermectin and hydrochloroquine because of malaria, and they had it, and it
didn't hit them very hard. Yeah,
it didn't hit them very hard.
Yeah,
and it took care of a lot of things. So she is huge, and she's very spiritual. She's and she's a medical doctor.
Oh, wow.
So her name is Stella Emanuel, MD, and I have her for health, but I would go with this guy too.
Where would you put the PragerU Dennis? Dennis, what's his last name? Dennis. I had it written down here. I just said his name earlier and I forget.
I know.
Prager.
Yeah, PragerU.
Dennis Prager. That guy is a great.
He's so good.
Education? Department of Education?
Oh, okay. So I have a guy for that. But he would be tremendous there. Because, and here's what I think about the Department of Education. That if Dennis did it, or the person I have, whose name is Alex Newman.
I don't know him.
Would be to eliminate it within 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Eliminate
themselves.
Eliminate themselves out of a job within 3 years. So the last year of the Trump administration would be a country without this national joke of indoctrination. So this.
What if they created a constitution that would just a constitution of education and leave it and say we're done.
We're done.
Here's the constitution, and every school follow this constitution of education and get the ball rolling.
And basically leave it to the states.
Okay.
Leave it to the states and local school districts.
Yeah.
And not have this national BS. Okay, so here's the book that Alex Newman wrote. It's called Indoctrinating Our Children to Death.
Oh my land.
And it's an amazing book. I read it and I gave it to my daughter, or I'd show it to you. But his name is Alex Newman. He's a brilliant guy. He gives you the history of public education and how it got into the country. And it's really all about indoctrinating our children so that they become these robots. And having our kids in school from like 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. And here's what's happened. First off, you destroy the family. Yeah. Or first off, you destroy the economy to where you have to have 2 incomes. And so then that gets the mom out of the house. And so then you go, oh, well, we have public schools that will babysit your kids all day long.
Yeah. So
that you can go out and be in the workforce. Yeah. What a joke. And then you have your children are just being indoctrinated. Is it Common Core? Is that what they call it?
I think
Common Core. It's a national. It's horrible. History is being rewritten. It's all social justice crap, and our children are in the United States. We're way down compared to other countries now.
Well, listen to this idea.
Okay.
Use schools for only socialization and physical activities, and when it comes to science, English, all the core subjects, have the best teachers in the country teach it online.
Online. We all have the ability, for the most part, and
They should be doing sports at school. They should be doing music at school. They should be socializing, and all this other crap. Leave it to the professional. I mean, the best teachers in the country.
I love that idea, and for those that have younger children, and there's so many wonderful, very, very affordable programs that you can get online to educate your children. Homeschooling, homeschooling used to have such a nasty connotation, but since COVID, so many high class, wonderful people have gone, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility and
they're indoctrinating the kids.
Yeah, and I know one of your favorites is Joel Scalzi.
Oh yeah,
and he has a system of teaching children, and it's awesome.
Oh wow.
There's a huge organization, I can't remember what it's called, that warehouses here in Utah that puts out tons of stuff for homeschooling. So there's just so many resources, but we have to get somebody in there that's going to do away with the Department of Education, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He would be, I didn't even think of him.
He's on my list. I haven't thought of a position for him yet.
He'd be cool. And
also, Safe Homes.
And also this Alex Newman, you can check him out, his book called Indoctrinating Our Children to Death. So, okay, let's go.
Okay. Do you know who Stephen Meyer is? The guy who, Darwin's Doubt?
No.
He's a what do you call it? Scientist, but is a biologist. Stephen Meyer. Meyer. Oh my heavens! The something of the cell and oh my heavens, he's the proponent of intelligent design.
Okay.
But he just understands science so well, and he's so articulate, and just truth in science or something science education or I would create a position for him.
So we have this agenda of global climate change. Mm. We don't call it global warming anymore.
Yes,
it's climate change.
Yeah. Well, tell the winds change.
if he has any just like if a propensity of just pure science and none of this garbage that we get fed, he would be a good guy to kind of oversee that.
Yeah.
That whole because the existential threat, the highest existential threat from the Biden administration is climate change.
Yeah. Are you seeing anything that didn't happen as a kid?
No.
When you're out in your yard?
Yeah. It's
exact same thing.
And it's like Trump said, yeah, maybe the oceans are going to raise 1/4 of an inch. Big deal kind of thing. Anyway, okay.
And then I got another great guy. I don't know if you know him.
How can you find... Google him?
Yeah, Google him.
Just Google him and then you'll find out. Does he have a YouTube channel?
I don't know, but he's got some great debates with some great guys on... who's the big atheist? Dawkins.
Oh, Dawkins, yeah.
I've
heard of him. They have a good debate.
Okay, there's another guy, I'm not sure if you know him, I can't think of a position for him, but I know there's a good position for him. Scott Palmer? Luther Scott Palmer? No. I was thinking the czar over common sense. The czar to restore common sense in the world.
No, you're goofy. You're funny.
Or how about...
We have to interject some humor into this.
Or how about your cardio miracle guy, Hewlett or Hewitt?
John Hewlett.
John Hewlett.
John Hewlett is...
There's got to be something for him. I get a sense. I don't know about working with other religions or kind of an ecumenical society or ecumenical...
And he does that. He is quite an amazing guy. There's no question there.
Yeah. Okay. And then...
Maybe a czar of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Or entrepreneurial thinking,
And then a czar of physical education and sports, Roger Federer. I love him. He's such a...
Yeah, peace for all. Roger
He is such a role model, number one, and just work ethic. And there's so many things that sports teach you that our children can't learn in the classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, when I hear about people I went to school with, people are on the football team and on all the sports teams, but as far as academics, and then I find out they're the doctors, they're the dentists. They're the eye surgeons. I go, what happened?
Yeah.
Why is it all the jocks are in those positions?
I know.
There's something, that sports teach our kids that we're neglecting this opportunity. I don't have time. My kids have to get ready for Harvard. Don't have time to have them in sports.
Any activities. Yeah.
I think that is so wrong. In Japan, they require all the kids join a sports club, volleyball or softball, baseball, and they do that. They one same sport all 4 years of high school or 3 years or whatever, and so they become very proficient at it and builds confidence. And then they utilize, they're at lunchtime, they're blaring classical music. The classics are playing while they're eating their lunch. So they all know music better than I know music. Oh, that's so-and-so. That's Mozart. They have such a well-rounded...
Getting exposed to the good things.
Heavens. And when we lived in Japan, the news over there too, it's kind of like ours in one sense that kind of get the only one side of things, but I felt like I heard more about the world or knew more about the world when I was living in Japan. I don't hear it in the world news here in the States. It's like you have to look for it on YouTube.
That's exactly what I do. I have several sources, and of course I focus more on the Middle East, but you don't get any. It's so interesting to travel to other countries. I remember this. Let's see. It was in May. We were in southern France, and I might have mentioned this before, but we were one of the people in our group got a bad cold, sinus something, and somebody had some over-the-counter stuff that they had brought with them, but ran out, and gave it to this person. Mm-hmm. So it was in Carcassonne, and as you cross this bridge and get ready to go to the walled city of Carcassonne, and there was a pharmacy, whatever the French, but it was a pharmacy. This person that was sick goes in to just buy this over-the-counter stuff, and the pharmacist there said, "We don't sell that crap in this country. It's like, this is bad. Let me give you something that will actually cure and help you."
Yeah.
And so there's tons of stuff in our food that there's no way other countries would put these additives.
Yes.
And so there's, it's always, tempting to go rah, USA, we're the best. Yes. We're the baddest.
It's like we can't be taught anything. We're the best. We can't learn from... No, don't try and teach us anything. Yeah. We are already the best in everything. And the world can't teach us a thing.
And so you've lived in Japan. You know exactly. And it's like you said... So, and I noticed too, if I had a chance to watch the news in these other countries, you're getting a good smattering of news from all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing with food and water and all the we have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And I like that thought. So
anyways,
we kind of got off track a little.
Yeah,
but that's good. Okay.
Any other names that we just...
You got any other names? I don't like Warren Buffett.
Okay, I don't know that much about him, but I just...
he's a billionaire, but who cares?
Let's see. We already talked about RFK. Didn't we already talk about him? Have you ever heard of the Socrates in the City guy, Metaxas?
No.
Eric Metaxas. He's a religious guy, funny guy, and he has he brings great minds together, and you can see him on YouTube. It's called Socrates in the City. Oh, but he's the greatest. He brings in great minds, and people are in there, and he has the best interviewer, questioner, and funny and religious, and I don't know. I thought we could use him somewhere. But
Good.
But anyways, check him out. Did I mention Scott Palmer?
We have Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck, czar of chalkboard education. No, I don't know. I don't know. I like Glenn. His videos are a little long for me to watch too much anymore, but I tend to watch short clips when he has something interesting. But I don't know. How would you use him? Is he too lightning rod?
I don't know. I love him. I go through phases where I listen to him and then I don't listen to him for weeks.
Right.
And then I listen to him again. I'm actually going to have the opportunity to meet him.
Are you kidding? In what context?
So he is coming with Tucker Carlson to Salt Lake.
Okay.
And
Don't tell me you're giving the...
because of Cardio Miracle is the sponsor for the VIPs of that, I get to go with that. John Hewlett invited me.
Okay, you're not a keynote speaker.
I'm not a keynote speaker, but I get to go prior to the show.
Okay.
Of Tucker and Glenn.
Okay, put it in the good order.
So what Tucker did is he's going throughout the country, and he's picking certain people that he wants to just powwow with, and they'll be on a stage,
right?
And they'll be talking about all kinds of things. And he wanted Glenn Beck, and Glenn Beck said, "Well, I don't really want to do it in Texas because I'm not a true Texan, but Utah would be a good place that would represent, because it's the center of my faith."
Right.
The not the center, but
headquarters.
The headquarters.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jesus Christ is the center of his faith. Sorry about that. But the headquarters, and so that's where they're going to do it. And then just through a series of things, I got invited, and I'm thrilled. So I get to meet.
Put in a good word for me.
And greet. I'll put in a good word for you. But Glenn needs to be used in some capacity.
His heart's in the right place.
Now I know public or the press secretary.
Oh.
Did we nail that one down yet?
You said Vivek.
Yeah, or
but it was kind of probably wouldn't take it.
Or
but,
that Stephen Miller, but he. But there's
also we threw out Tucker was a possibility.
But Glenn would be good in public relations or public affairs.
Okay.
He reaches a huge group of people, and I think he could not a spin doctor.
Right.
We don't want those anymore.
Oh no! Oh my heavens! KGP or whatever name.
Yeah.
KJP or KP. Oh my heavens!
We don't need that anymore. We don't need spin, but somebody that can convey.
We report, we decide.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Let me just quickly some of these offices that would. Secretary of Defense, AG, Interior, Agriculture, Labor, HHS, Housing and Urban Development, Transportation, Energy, Education, Veteran Affairs, Homeland Security, Chief of Staff, EPA, Intelligence, Trade, UN, Economic Affairs, Management and Budget, Science and Tech, CIA, FBI, FDA. Any thoughts on those?
Okay, so that's another one where I think RFK Jr. could be be the director of the CIA.
Oh wow!
Instead of being Attorney General.
Okay.
Because that. So this is just my opinion, but I think the deep state. We always talk about the deep state. What is the deep state? I think it's the 3-letter agencies.
Right.
And they're
unelected officials.
Unelected officials that got in power and stay in power, and they control the power. That's not to say that every person in those departments, because there's thousands of them, are bad people. They're not. Some of them are just the greatest patriots and good people. But the leaders in these organizations are nefarious and evil, in my opinion, and it'd be difficult. I'll give you a firsthand tiny experience with this, and I'll probably offend a couple of former missionaries on this, but when Sue and I were called to preside over a mission,
right?
Our mission was a combination of 4 missions,
right?
That got portions of them got grouped together, and it went from a mission that covered like 17 stakes in Utah to a mission that covered 60 stakes in a district. So it's huge,
right?
And like I say, 4 missions combined.
Right.
So there's 4 different cultures, because each mission has a culture that you inherit from the previous mission.
Right.
So it's really bizarre. So we really relied on our assistants, because there's nobody else there to tell you what's going on.
Right.
Well, I knew they're 19, 20-year-old kids,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And you remember.
Yeah.
we're idiots.
Yeah.
And to some degree we still are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I knew I was being hoodwinked a lot of times.
Right.
But I didn't know what else to do
Uh-huh.
other than to have these guys, and you find out later, that they did a lot of things that they shouldn't have done because they were in a position to kind of do things, and they were doing it unbeknownst to me.
Uh-huh.
Not that I policed much, but and then they would sell me a bill of goods. Overall, they were good young men.
Uh-huh.
So if you're watching or listening, don't take offense.
I forgive you.
I forgive you. You forgive me. We're all just. But it taught me a great lesson. And as I saw Trump enter his first term as president, he was trusting people.
Yes.
He had no idea.
Yes.
That's why you get Fauci and you get who was that jerk that was his? I think it was Secretary of Defense. He had the big mustache, and he just wants to get in every war.
Oh yeah. His name was on to my tongue.
Yeah. Horrible guy,
Yeah.
and Trump trusts him. But you do because you don't know what else to do. So even though an RFK Jr. could become director of the CIA,
Right.
he's not going to fix everything.
Yeah.
There are so many tentacles and things and way to hoodwink and buffalo people. So I don't know what the answer is for these agencies that have become so powerful. FBI, CIA.
Right.
You have the FDA,
Yeah.
which is
Food and drug. Oh my heavens.
it's so corrupt.
Yeah.
So corrupt, and it ties in with big pharma and all that.
Yeah.
So I think we elect who we can. We hope he surrounds himself. If it does end up being Trump, and this, I'm going to ask you this question:
Yes.
Do you think we're going to have a fair election this time?
I hope and pray, but I mean, unless that's what I say. Somebody like Elon Musk can ensure that even in these few months, I don't know, would it take a act of Congress to do something that would make our elections free and fair? But I don't have the confidence.
I don't either. I don't have the confidence that we're going to have a fair election. I think that these next 2 months are really going to reveal a lot of things because the deep state, it's like the perfect storm. You have Trump, who knows he only has 4 years. He's already learned a lot of lessons.
Yes.
And he's going to go for broke,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you have the Kamala puppet that's just a person, just like Biden was, who is in a position to be manipulated and told what to do. This is my opinion.
Like a box of rocks.
Like a box of rocks. Keep her out of it. She hasn't done one interview.
Oh yeah.
That's by design.
Oh yeah.
Just
Keep him in the basement.
keep him in the basement. Just like so we're going to have some very nefarious things happen in these next few months that will facilitate the need for lockdowns, other nefarious things that would prevent an honest election.
Yeah.
Mail-in ballots.
Without that,
all
nothing
that.
else matters.
And without that, nothing else matters
Yeah.
because we're just and we see this theme right in the Book of Mormon, especially the part we're reading right now in Come Follow Me, with the Gadiantons and Kishkumen and the deep state and getting your guy in there and killing this. We don't even talk about the assassination attempt on President Trump.
Oh,
it's
my
like
goodness.
old news.
Oh, yeah.
It's like old news. It's like, yeah, he got shot in the ear. Okay, let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
This was definitely done.
May have been hit by a bullet.
Maybe, or it could have been something.
Glass,
maybe glass, or who knows. But all the the investigation on this is ridiculous. On that particular thing, because it's so obvious there's more to that assassination attempt. Allowing that guy to sit up there. The guy was, in my opinion, a useful idiot.
Yeah.
This is definitely scriptural type times. Prophecy type times that we're living in right now.
Can I just say one thing? I don't think this has ever been done, and I don't think it probably could never be done. But imagine if Trump went in this election knowing exactly who his staff was going to be. This is who I'm considering for this position. This is who the whole cabinet. He had a kind of a game plan, and it was all presented to us. And maybe some would say no, maybe be a change or two. But have you ever known the whole cabinet going into an election? I don't recall.
I think when he was first elected, I don't think we knew everything, but he revealed a lot.
Okay, did he?
He did.
Okay.
And he's one of the few. Otherwise, we just don't know who they're going
to. We have to get elected first before you find out what's in it. Wait, read the bill first. But no.
And I suspect
pass the bill first, and then read it and find out what's in it.
I suspect Trump will announce many of these positions within the next few weeks.
Okay,
that's a prediction.
And hopefully, some of our predictions will be right.
And hopefully, some of ours will be in there. Well, anything else you have?
Oh, that's about an hour, so I don't want to make it drag on. But I enjoyed this. Time went flying by. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We it's good to have conversations with people that like you had a name of someone and I said, oh, no way. But you didn't get mad at me.
No. I don't know. All these people
because
personally.
I know, but still, some people could go, gosh, why
difference of opinion.
So we have to have. Here's what I think is going to happen. Kennedy has come out and said, "Look, Trump and I have some major disagreements, but on the big ones, I'm going to put my pride aside." He didn't say that, but I know this is how he's thinking. I'm going to put my pride aside for the benefit of others and this nation. That's a true. I've listened to so many things on Kennedy. Long discussions, and he, going through his drug addictions. He goes to 12-step virtually every day, wherever he is.
Oh wow!
He makes his bed every day because it's a matter of principle to him.
Oh, wow.
He told a story one time. He was rushing through an airport to make a flight,
right?
And he put a stick of gum in his mouth.
Okay.
The wrapper, threw it as he was going, went in the garbage can.
It went in the garbage can.
It went in the garbage can, but it bounced back out.
Oh.
And he's like, well, I made it.
Right.
He kept running, and as he went, what kind of man am I? I'm more important to make this flight than to go pick up that trash. Heck no.
I love that.
So he stopped. He went all the way back, found that little piece of paper, put it in the garbage. He ended up making his flight.
I love that story.
But this tells you a lot about RFK Jr. I know he has the voice issue, and that's a big distraction for some people. It kind of reminds me how President Kimball was in his later life, where he had the voice like this, and he had throat cancer.
Doesn't he have a thing that you have to go like that?
I don't think so.
Maybe not.
But he had his vocal cords like he had a tumor or something cut out.
I've seen that.
So he talked like this. and if you really caught the spirit of him, you didn't even notice that.
Right.
I listen to RFK Jr. now. I don't even notice.
He went to Japan and had some surgery, and the sound of his voice improved slightly. Not great.
Not a lot.
But some improvement.
But his wife hates Trump.
Oh yeah.
So you can imagine the turmoil and many of his family members, and yet this guy is willing to do this. And I hope more and more, like I'm praying. I pray for Trump and his family, and now I pray for RFK and his family, and we do it every night. Sue and I. Yeah. You mentioned that since Trump's first election, you haven't been more thrilled about a political
news
things happening. since Trump's election, knowing that RFK now is on the Trump team and going to be influential, I feel the exact same way.
And when he picks all these people, I don't think he's going to look. Oh, show me all Republicans.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to do that.
He's not going to do that. And we got to get over all that kind of stuff. And I think we're going to hear more and more. In fact, Kennedy has inferred that we're going to hear more and more people who are on the other side of the aisle are going to be saying, "Look, we're not these extreme leftist people that want to destroy this country. We want to be on the team and help some way, even though they might have the D behind their name."
I feel like so many people are voting for the jersey.
I hate that.
Oh,
I hate that.
And I cringe. I think,
cringe.
oh my heavens.
I mentioned the other day that I don't really like the Republican Party. And I got a lot of, I should say a lot, but I got some, people, they're the best party, that we have, and blah, 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 which, may or may not be true. What I was saying, or what I was trying to convey, is the Republican Party isn't going to save us.
Yeah.
Jesus will. And the principles. Now, the Republican Party, their platform is way more in line with what I believe, but there's a nefarious. Okay, so you have all these guys, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, and then you have all these congressmen and women, and they all yak, talk. But when have you ever seen anything done from their stupid committees and all their investigations?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You had Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
You had the IRS investigation. You can just go down all these lists. Chaffetz, who I don't know, he was on the Judicial Committee, I think, the chair, and all these things. And then he just jumped ship, goes to Fox News as a comment. Nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
You have the Benghazi. Did anybody get in trouble for that? No. It just goes on and on. This Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
It's the guys just, and all the money and the family and everything. All this investigation. Did anything happen? No. They just talk.
Yeah.
So I just like me. I just talk.
I agree. It's just mostly the political world was very, very frustrating. But a couple of high watermarks went, like when RFK made that announcement. I was just so happy.
And didn't it feel?
I don't agree with everything he believes in, but I sense that his heart's in the right place.
Yeah,
he's smart. He's articulate. He
can
get
honest,
things done. Yes,
and he's honest.
Yes,
honesty. I think that is so critical, and
in the gospel too. I mean, if you're not honest, nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. All right. Any last words?
No, just.
I love your T-shirt. Love.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I took. Did I tell you I took up skiing this year?
You did, and I watched your videos.
After the stroke and after 40 years, I was inspired partly by my wife's old boss, who's skiing at 83 or 84. It's still built like this, and skiing, and then my son-in-law, who kind of egged me on to go up and ski with him. And, oh my heavens, I'm so enjoying it. That old familiar burn in your legs.
Yeah.
That's such a good feeling.
Good for you. That's awesome.
It's starting to come. I was started off, I could hardly keep my balance. I was all over the place, but now I'm almost back to where I was in high school. I mean,
so good.
I mean, slow and everything, but anyways.
Gotta
keep moving.
Gotta keep moving. Okay, God bless. We'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for joining us, and we love you. We're so grateful for your comments. Put in the comment section, if you just take 3 or 4 people and the position that you would like to see them in, and maybe what I'll do is we'll do a poll. We'll combine some things, and maybe we'll do one more video, and then I'll get the people what the people put in and see if they can add to. And
Okay.
that'd be kind of fun.
Oh yeah, follow up video.
Follow up video.
Glad
Okay.
to. Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.